I just wanted to make a quick video kind of talking about why most people shouldn't listen to fitness influencers. And a lot of this comes more to do with people I know in my own life, especially young people who follow fitness influencers and want to follow their tips very fiercely. And what you need to remember is that most fitness influencers and most people in that realm are really targeting people who are already advanced in the level of fitness. If you're just looking to cultivate your newbie gains and things like that, you really don't need to worry about what they have to say most of the time. A lot of this talk about, like, oh, you can't gain quality muscle if you're too fat, or, trying to figure out the perfect diet. It's all for people trying to get that extra, like, 7 to 20 pounds of muscle on, who are trying to get like that extra 5 pounds of weight on their own already insane bench. And it's not really talking about people who are new to it or even people who've been in it for a year. Like the people who I see ultimately make gains are just the people who go to the gym all the time. That's full stop. Just go to the gym all the time. Like, yeah, you probably want to have proper diet. So everyone I'm talking about too also has having some kind of protein shake. But, like, yeah, that's really the precursor to getting there. I haven't really ever seen recomping work, but I've definitely seen skinny people bulk and bulk dirty bulk and gain a lot of muscle fast. And I've seen people who are already very big basically make no changes to their diet because they're already having huge calorie surpluses and gain a lot of muscle and then be able to cut down afterwards to very quickly get to a much more desirable size. Like, you're not going to become like Derek from More Plates, More Dates with this strategy, but he has been working out for at least 8 years. And to some degree, he's using performance enhancing drugs that are going to make it just impossible for you to be there without his background of 8 years of experience and performance enhancing drugs. Like, and don't get me that wrong, you can get there, and if you're willing to use performance enhancing drugs, you can probably get there pretty fast. But that's just like not the goal of what we're actually like talking about. It's not the goal that you should have. When I first started working out, I want to say it took me 9 months of going to the gym very badly to have 3 months of great experiences at the gym, to get great gains at the gym. So it's almost like just go to the gym. The more you're there, the more you'll figure out how your proper form. You'll figure out what's slowing down your form because a lot of people don't think about it. But if you've not worked out a ton, you have mobility issues. Your ability to do squats is not going to be up to where it needs to be just because you're not flexible enough. Like, I see that all the time, and it's just like one of the struggles I have, especially with people who are out of weight, out of shape, like really bad, and like have read a forum post that's from a book that's 40 years old. Well, the book's 40 years old. The forum post is 20 years old, and they want to kind of like muse on these things. And again, like these topics that they're worried about are trying to maximize their gains by getting the perfect workout going. It's for the top like 5% of the 5%. If you're in there in the gym and you can bench your own body weight, you are in the top 5% of the strongest people in the world. Just full stop. Just if you can do that, you're already much stronger than you think you are. And so your real goal is should probably be just to get there, to be able to bench 180, and then once you're benching 180, slim down to the size you want and just keep at it. Diet is a harder thing. I've not cracked the code. The thing that's worked best for me, honestly, has been the vertical diet. Now, I kind of had my version of the vertical diet over here to the side, um, and like that's just some of my cliff notes about these things. But ultimately, I don't even follow that very well. Um, I don't like steak at all, and because I don't like steak, I don't eat it, so I eat something else. Um, that's trying to emulate the same thing. And because I'm eating something else that's emulating the same thing, I often don't eat the rice. But past that, I'm hitting all the other macronutrient goals that it's part of the vertical diet. And then mostly like breaking up my diet so it's 5 times a day to help keep my metabolism going. Um, in my natural state, I just want to cut constantly. I would say one of the biggest problems for me actually getting gains is that I'll bulk, I'll get a bunch of muscle, but I also get kind of fat. Then I'll slim down, and then I never want to bulk again because I don't want to get fat again. And then my muscle slowly degrades away, just because I so love staying in that calorie deficit at that level. But yeah, like ultimately, we just got to keep remembering that fitness influencers are talking to the 5% of the 5%, and they need to have the bulk audience, which is basically anyone who's willing to listen to any fitness at all to get the followers that they have, but they're not really doing a good job of speaking to those followers. And again, what I believe most people are actually struggling with all their gym stuff is adherence. And the reason they're struggling with adherence, and there's science and literature to back this up, but the reason they're struggling with that has to do with stressors and parts of their life that they can't control. Um, there from PK, there was someone named Kyle, and he went through an entire body transformation in 7 months. And he said in it, he doesn't think he'd be able to do it if he had a job at the time. And I think that is incredibly true. One of the things that's going to help you get to the body you want and the look that you want of the body that you have is really figuring out how to get your gym time in there with your current life and how you're going to manage the stresses of your life. And one of the big things to me is like my sleep hygiene. It's awful. And the only thing that seems to help is like CBD gummies, or some type of marijuana gummies that helps me sleep. But those are not very good for me because it gets in the way of um, being able to sleep without them after a while, or so I've read. And also because I tend to work in emergency services positions, they want to drug test you. So you can't even take those comfortably. Like they get on me enough about my tattoos. And yeah, and just something I just cannot help but keep saying over and over again that fitness influencers are making content for people who are like them, who are the top 5% of the 5%, the people who can stop whatever they're doing, work out as much as they need to in the middle of the day, and then like have their entire life and all the money they make built around their fitness. And statistically speaking, that's not you, and that will never be you. And you just need to get to the gym. You need to be in the gym minimum 3 times a week. I really like going every single day, and yeah, you just need to go to the gym. 9 months of doing very badly in the gym will eventually lead to you having 3 months of amazing results in the gym. I know I also tend to speak very highly at this point of PEDs, specifically SERMs, but you can get there without it. Like the big benefit of SERMs is that it really reduces the time, and because it reduces the time, you see the gains that much faster, and you feel that much more energized about it, and people are making comments to you faster about it. But you really don't need them. Uh, not at least at like the re-getting back into the gym cycle side of it. I think again, if you want to be part of the top 5% of the 5%, you probably need SERMs. Like, and then remember, like, they were constantly finding out that almost every single fitness influencer is on some kind of PED. It's probably less than a third of them who aren't. So like, not only are they the top 5% of the 5%, they're probably taking supplements you're not willing to take. And yeah, that's all I had to say about it. I'm just I'm so tired of having that hearing other people have that dialogue and listening to fitness influencer advice online because it's just frankly not targeting you.